Hello everyone, welcome back. How are you? Hi Bano, welcome. I am good. How about you, dear Bano? Thank you so much for asking. Let's write your good name. Hi, dear Bano. Here is a good name. Hi, welcome. How are you? Hello, dear Raymas. Here is yours. Welcome, dear. How are you? Hi, Sandy. I am good. How about you? Here is yours. Welcome. Thank you so much for asking, dear. Welcome. Thanks. You're most welcome, dear. Lots of love. Comment your beautiful name. Let's see who is next. Hi, dear. Welcome. Oh, thank you so much. Lots of love, dear. Don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. Let's see who is next. Welcome. You are the cutest, dear Ragda. Here is yours. Hi. Comment your beautiful names. I am from Syria. Oh, so good to have you here. How's your day going, dear? Daddy, why not? For you, dear. Hi, dear Katja. Here is your beautiful name. Welcome. How are you? Hello, dear Habiba. Here is yours. How are you? Hi, dear Alize. Here is your beautiful name. Welcome. Hello, dear Louis. Here is yours. How are you? Hey, dear Landry. Here is your good name. How are you? Hello, dear Fatima. Here is yours. Welcome, dear. Have a good day. Hi, dear Manu. Here is yours. How are you? Hey, dear Maja. Here is your good name. Hello, dear Moin. Here is yours. Welcome. Hi, dear Ryan. Here is yours. How are you? Hey, dear Sergey. Here is yours. What a unique name you have. Hello, dear June. Here is yours. How are you? How is he? Hey, dear Ali. Here is yours. Hi, dear Suhaima. Here is your beautiful name. Welcome. How are you? Hi, dear Ahad. Here is yours. Welcome, guys. Don't forget to double tap on your screen, and there is a subscribe button waiting for your finger press. Let's see who is next. Rafi. Hi, dear Rafi. Here is your good name. How are you? Hey, dear Dasak. Here is yours. Welcome. Hello, dear Samra. Here is your beautiful name. Hi, dear Kavika. Here is yours. Hello, dear Yasmin. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Welcome, dear Yasmin. Hello, dear Ali. Here is yours. Let's see who is next. Hi, dear Zad. Here is yours. Welcome. Hi, dear Mehmet. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Hi, dear Arfa. Here is yours. Welcome, dear. Hello, dear Tawheed. Here is your good name. Welcome. How are you? Hello, dear Ansar. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Hi, dear Maham. Here is yours. Welcome. Hello, dear Jules. Here is yours. Hi, dear. Hi, welcome, Abha. Here is your beautiful name. Hello, dear Kavika. Here is yours. How are you? Hi, dear Anu. Why are you so sad, dear Anu? Here is yours. You have such a beautiful name, dear. Don't forget to double tap on your screens, and there is a subscribe button waiting for your finger press. Let's see who is next. Hi, dear Karen. Here is yours. How are you? Hey, dear King. Here is yours. Hello, dear Junali. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Hi, dear Biansha. Here is yours. How are you? Hello, dear Aryan. Here is your beautiful name. Hi, dear Sadik. Here is yours. Welcome. Hello, dear Blessing. What a beautiful name you have, dear Blessing. Here is yours. How are you? Hello, dear Baz. Here is yours. Hi, dear Sumera. Sumera, not Sunera. Sumera. Hi, Sumera. Welcome. How are you? Here is a good name. Hey, dear Elia. Here is yours. Hi, dear Pranika. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Hello, dear Malak. Here is yours. Hello, dear Junali. Welcome, Junali. How are you? Here is your beautiful name. Hi, dear Isa. Here is yours. Hello, dear Rumesa. Welcome back. How are you? Here is yours. Hello, dear Ahana. Here is your good name. Thank you so much for subscribing. Hi, dear Mahnur. Here is yours. How are you? Hello, dear Faiza. Here is your beautiful name. Hi, dear Sandhya. Here is yours. How are you? Guys, don't forget to double tap on your screens. Hi, dear Sardaf. Here is yours. Welcome. I am good too. Thank you for asking. Hi, dear Tayyab. Here is yours. Hi, dear Neha. Here is your beautiful name. Hello, dear children. Here is yours. How are you? Hi, dear Claire. Here is yours. Hello, dear Kimberly. Welcome. How are you? ¿Cómo estás? Gracias. I just subscribed. Thank you for subscribing, dear. Hi, Julia. Here is yours. Hello, dear Lojan. Here is your good name. How are you? Hey, dear Weston. Here is yours. Welcome. Hi, dear Junaid. Here is your beautiful name, Junaid, with you. How are you? Hi, dear Sarah. Here is yours. Guys, double tap on your screens like this. Let me add the sticker. Hmm. Mm-mm. Let me add the question, guys. Just wait for a minute. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Okay. Question is on the way. Hi Rehan, welcome. How are you? Here is yours. Hello, dear Britney. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Welcome. Hi, dear Zainab. Here is yours. How are you? Green, nice. Hi, dear Sneha. Here is your beautiful name. Hello, dear Kusum. Here is yours. How are you? Hello, dear Amasha. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Hello, dear Selena. Hi, Selena. How are you? It is a good name. Hi, dear Anmol. Walaikum Salam. How are you? Here is yours. Guys, don't forget to double tap on your screen and there is a subscribe button waiting for your finger. Press Asta. Hi, Asta. Welcome back. How are you? Here is yours. Hi, dear Neerab. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Sahil. Hi, Sahil. Welcome. Here is yours. Hi, dear Vad. Welcome back. Hello, dear. Oh, too much Vad. Hi. Pink. Your favorite color is pink? Nice. And I'm going to write this. I wrote this. Hi, Hadia. Welcome. How are you? Here is yours. Let's see who is next. Manikia. Hi. What a beautiful name you have. Here is yours. How are you? Welcome. Hi, dear Arif. Here is your beautiful name. Blue. Oh, nice. Hi, dear Ritika. Here is yours. I like blue too. Hi, dear Petro. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Hello, dear Tanu. Here is yours. Let's see who is next, guys. Hello, dear Nasser. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Hey, dear Emma. Here is yours. Purple. Oh, wow. Nice. Hi, dear Khadija. Here is yours. How are you? Welcome. Hello, dear Maram. Here is yours. Hello, dear Butter. Oh, wow. What a unique name you have, dear. Here is yours. Hi, dear Ambalika. Here is your beautiful name. Ambalika. Oh, Ambalika. Here is yours. How are you? Hi, dear Pratik. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Guys, is this slide is better or the first one? I think this is better. Alia. Hi, dear Alia. Here is yours. Hello, dear Lakshay. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Hi, dear Nikita. Here is yours. How are you? I am fine. How are you? I'm good too, dear. How about you? Thank you for asking. Hi, Jatin. Here is yours. Hey, dear Arun. Here is your beautiful name. Hello, dear Master D. Welcome back. How are you? Here is a good name. Hi, Alia. Thank you so much for your love and support, dear. Guys, don't forget to double tap on your screens. Hi, dear Luke. Here is yours. Hi, dear Jenny. For you. Dear Link, here is yours. Hi, dear Kelly. Here is your beautiful name. Hello, dear Mealy. Here is yours. How are you? Hi, dear Kazi. Here is your beautiful name. Hi, dear. Okay, okay. Hold on, dear Meher. Here is yours. How are you? Oh, you're most welcome. Can you do a heart? Why not? Here is yours. Hi, dear Maran. Here is your good name. How are you? Hello, dear Shamilka. Shamika. Oh, what a unique name you have. Here is yours. How are you? Don't use too much emojis, guys. Hello, dear Malaika. Here is yours. How are you? Hi, dear Boboski. What a unique name you have. Here is yours. How are you? Hi, dear Baron. Here is yours. Hello, dear Clyra. Here is your beautiful name. Hi, dear Salome. Here is yours. How are you? Hi, dear Jian. Here is yours. Thank you. Hello, dear Rihan. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Hi, dear Samir. Here is yours. Hi, dear Ankita. Here is yours. How are you? Hey, dear Amaya. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Hello, dear Lena. Here is yours. Hey, dear Lena. Here is yours. Let's see who is next. Huria. Okay, dear Huria. Here is yours. How are you? Here is yours. Hi, dear Irina. Here is your beautiful name. Hey, dear Ikra. Here is yours. How are you? Hello, dear Jannat. Here is your beautiful name. Welcome. Guys, double tap on your screens and don't forget to press the subscribe button. One name each person, please. Harim. Hi, Harim. Welcome. Here is yours. How are you? Hi, dear Alia. Here is your good name. Welcome. Hi, dear Pralipsa. 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 Here is yours. Hi, dear Paulina. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Hey, dear Brenda. Here is yours. Yeah, e-signatures on okay. Yes, dear. Hi, dear Preeti. Here is yours. How are you? Sasha is here. Hi, dear Sasha. How are you? Hello, dear kid. Here is yours. Hi, dear Blue. Nice. Let's see who is next. Danine. Hi, here is yours. Hi, dear Yahya. Here is your good name. How are you? Hello, dear Haris. Here is yours. Hey, dear Diane. Welcome, Diane. How are you? Here is a good name. Guys, don't forget to double tap on your screen. Anam. Hi, dear Anam. Here is yours. Hello, dear CJ. Here is your beautiful name. Hello, dear Ratil. Here is yours. How are you? Hi, dear Gion and Jess. Here is yours. Okay, let's see who is next. Hi, Atmika. Welcome. install. Okay. Nella. Hi dear Nella, here is yours. Hey dear Aman, here is your good name. How are you? Hi dear Sana, here is yours. Hello dear Charlie, here is your good name. How are you? Hello dear Amani, here is your beautiful name. How are you? Hi dear Gion, your name is done. Please don't spam. CJ is done. Toho. Hannah, hi Hannah, welcome. Here is yours. Hello dear Kalka. Hi Kalka, welcome. How are you? Here is your beautiful name. Hi dear Raga, here is yours. Hello dear. Oh nice. Roshni, here is your beautiful name. How are you? Hello dear Nella. Hi Nella, welcome. Here is yours. Hey dear Alan, here is your beautiful name. Hi dear Arham, here is yours. How are you? Hello dear Lisa, how are you? Dear Blink, hi dear Bilal, here is yours. How are you? Hi dear Heyday, here is your beautiful name. Hi dear Manya, here is yours. How are you? Hello dear Ariana. Hi Ariana, welcome. Here is your beautiful name. Hi dear Nimra, here is yours. How are you? Hi dear Safa, here is your beautiful name. Guys, double tap on your screens and don't forget to press the subscribe button. You're most welcome, dear. Lots of love. Thank you. Hi, Yogi. Here is yours. Hello, dear Ayan. Here is your good name. How are you? Hi, dear Zulfa. Here is yours. Hello, dear Mujib. Here is yours. How are you? Hi, dear Arohi. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Baby Pink. Nice. Hi, dear Booking. Here is yours. Where are you from? You have such a unique name, dear. Hello, dear Atmika. Okay, Atmika. Here is your dear Hemang. Here is yours. Hello, dear. I am from Arunachal Pradesh. Oh, nice. Hey, dear Naman. Here is yours. How are you? Is this stream is lagging, guys? Hi, dear Ravda. Here is your good name. Welcome. Hi, dear Anuj. Here is yours. How are you? Hello, dear Samra. Here is your beautiful name. Hello, dear Ravan. Here is yours. How are you? वालेकुम सलाम सुब्बा जी मैं ठीक हूँ आप कैसे हो वेलकम बैक here is your beautiful name hi dear Sandeep here is yours here is your good name hi dear Thanusha let me check the spelling just wait Thanusha Thanusha is here hi Thanusha welcome guys double tap on your screen okay let's read अभी तक नहीं आया मैंने उनको कहा था शाम में आना एक बात करनी थी हाय नानिता here is yours hi dear Rishu here is your beautiful name hello dear Day here is yours hi dear say Gigi Carmen here is your beautiful name how are you Hello, dear Yusuf. Here is yours. Welcome. Hi, dear Sanya. Here is your beautiful name. Welcome. Okay, let's see. Atmika wants a screenshot. Okay, dear Atmika. Don't worry. Here is yours, guys. She is taking screenshot and just wait for a minute. Let's see who is next. Hi Luisa, welcome. Hi सिब्गा जी, कैसे हो? क्या कर रहे हो आजकल? Basma, hi Basma, welcome. How are you? Tim, hi Tim. Basma, Tim, and what was the third name? Let's try dear Basma. Hi dear Basma. How are you? Here is yours. Hello dear Tim. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Hi dear Kritika. Here is yours. How are you? Hey dear Avery. Here is your beautiful name. Hi dear Lana. Here is yours. Hello dear Lauren. Here is your good name. Can you guess, dear? Hello, dear Durga. Here is yours. How are you? Hello, dear Huria. Huria was done, I think, before. और मे बी हो सकता है मैंने भूल गई हूँ शायद. हुरियाना नहीं, हुरिया क्या लिख रही हूँ मैं? Huria. Here is yours. Don't forget to double tap on your screen, guys. Hi, Zara. Welcome. How are you? Hi, dear Zara. Here is yours. Hi, dear Yara. Why not? Here is yours. Pink and yellow. Nice. Hey, dear Neha. Here is a beautiful name. Hi, dear Alicia. Here is yours. Hi, Api. Hello. How are you? Hey, dear Jessica. Here is your good name. Hey, dear Hashim. Here is yours. How are you? Hi, dear Irha. Here is your good name. Hello, dear Fatmela. What a unique name you have. Fatmela. Here is yours. I never had tried this name before, I think, or listen though. Hi, dear Ruben. Here is yours. Okay, let's try Kotok. Where are you from? You have such a unique name. Hi, dear Malika. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Hey, dear Nayab. Here is yours. Welcome. Hi, dear Ditya. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Hi, dear Owarda. Here is yours. Hello, dear Afan. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Hi, dear Afifa. Here is yours. Hello, hi, Irshad. Welcome. Hey, dear Mason. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Hi, dear Anam. Here is yours. Welcome. Let's see who's next. Hi, dear Hassan. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Hi, dear Sarah. Here is yours. How are you? Hi, dear Alina. Here is your beautiful name. Hello, dear. Let's see who's gonna be the 50. Numan. Here is yours. You're most welcome, dear. Lots of love. Let's see who is next. Carly. Hi, dear Carly. Here is yours. Moderator, are you here? Oh, I thought that was my moderator. Hello, dear Arya. Here is your beautiful name. Hi, dear Red. Nice. Ismail. Here is yours. How are you? Hi, dear Meena. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Hello, dear Subi. Here is yours. Welcome, dear. Hi, dear Hannah. Here is yours. One of my favorite names. Here is a beautiful name. Hi, dear Akriti. Here is yours. How are you? Hello, dear Afan. Here is your beautiful name. Welcome. Hi, dear Gulhida. Here is yours. How are you? Hi, dear Amna. Here is yours. Welcome, dear Amna. How are you doing today? Lavender. Nice. Lavender is your favorite color. Hi, Lorenzo. Here is yours. How are you? Hi, dear staff. Here is yours. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining, everyone. Don't forget to double tap on your screens, and there is a subscribe button waiting for your finger press. Hi, dear Saptan. Here is yours. How are you? Hello, Black. Nice. Hi, dear Noman. Here is yours. Red is my favorite color. I subscribe. Okay, from Lorenzo. Thank you so much for subscribing and nice choice. Hi, dear Miriam. Here is yours. Hello, dear Suraj. Here is your good name. Hi, dear Lala. Please don't spam. Hi, let's see who is next. Aisha. Hi, dear Aisha. Here is a good name. How are you? Okay, let's move to the next name. Hi, they always black. Yeah, we are in the black team. Hi, dear Alan. Here is yours. Why no spam? Because it's disturbing, no? Hello, dear. Let's see who is next. Liliana. Hi, dear Liliana. Here is yours. Here is a good name. How are you? Hi, dear. No, it's okay. Dear Elise, here is your good name. Hello, dear Lexi or Lexo? Lexi or Lexo, dear. What's your good name? Here is yours. You're most welcome. Hi, dear Meher. Another Meher we have. Welcome. Here is yours. Hi, dear Ludivine. Here is yours. What a unique name you have. Here is your yes, Subgaji. Hi, dear Vasuki. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Hey, dear Minsha. Here is yours. Subka ji, आज आप खुश लग रही हैं. Hey, dear, mashallah say. Abby, here is yours. Hi, dear Suhalia. Suhalia. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Hi, dear Matcha. Here is yours. How are you? Hi, I am Kamlesh and Hitesh. Hi, Hitesh, welcome back. I remember your name. Welcome. How are you today? Here is yours. Hello, dear boy. Here is a good name. Hello, dear Elise. Here is yours. Elise, right? Elise. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing. Here is a beautiful name. Here is yours, dear. Let's see who is next. Hi, dear Eva. Here is your beautiful name. Hi, dear. Another Amaya we have. Here is yours. How are you? Hi, dear Isabelle. Here is yours. How are you? It's me, I'm on the right track. Thank you. Hey, dear Mado. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Hi, dear Fatic. Here is yours. How are you? Hello, dear Shanix. What a unique name you have, bro. Here is yours. Hi, dear Holy. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Hello, dear Irha. Here is yours. Hi, dear Marar. Okay. Here is yours. What a unique name you have too. Hi, dear Matar or Marar. What are you saying? Rumesa. Why not, dear Rumesa? Here is yours. How are you? Hi, dear Choice. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Hello, dear Abira. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Hi, dear Geeta. Here is yours. Let's see who's gonna be the 70 liker, guys. ईश्वरी शुक्र है आप लाइव आती हैं, नहीं तो चुप हुए हुए मेरी जिंदगी गुजर जाती। अरे नहीं नहीं, ऐसे थोड़ी आपको हम अकेला छोड़ेंगे। हाय डियर नाजिया, here is yours. Hello dear Mariam, here is your beautiful name. How are you? Hi dear Zad, here is yours. You're most welcome. Okay body, what a unique name. Here is yours. Nazia, okay, you want a screenshot? Do let me know, dear. Here is yours. I'm doing good, Mozin bhai. आप सुनाएं कैसे हो? Here is yours. Nazia wants a screenshot, guys. So just give her 1 minute. संग्राम, हाय संग्राम जी, 1 मिनट थम जाओ और रुको 1 सेकेंड. स्क्रीनशॉट ले रही है वो प्यारी नाजिया. Thank you. You're most welcome. Hi dear Sangram, hold on man. Here is yours. How are you? संग्राम जी ने दे दन. Hi dear Aisha, here is your beautiful name. How are you? Hey dear Kaysan, here is yours. Let's see who is next, guys. Hey dear Zimra, here is your beautiful name. How are you? Hi dear. Did you say anything, Muslim Bhai? Fire. Here is yours. How are you? Hi dear Noor. Here is yours. Hello dear Marius. Here is a good name. How are you? Hi dear. Please, Zunera. Hi dear Zunera. Here is yours. Don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. Zunera लिखना था, मैंने ठीक लिखा है कि मैंने गलत लिख दिया है? इतने ज़्यादा प्लीज थे, मेरा दिमाग घूम गया. रुको मैं देखती हूँ दोबारा. Hi dear Anisha, here is a good name. How are you? Hello dear Chakri, here is yours. How are you? Hi dear Shabnam, here is yours. Thank you so much Shabnam ji for joining. You have such a beautiful name. Hello dear Hazel, Here is yours. Hi, dear Zahra. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? You are from Indonesia. Oh, so nice to hear. Hi, dear Iman. Here is yours. Hey, dear Ishal. Here is your good name. This is कहाँ के बिजी हैं आज किसी भी वक्त हो सकते हैं कौन बिजी आप Okay, Anisha wants a screenshot. Okay, dear Anisha. Guys, don't forget to double tap on your screens to like this live. And there is a subscribe button waiting for your finger press. Oh, blur ho gaya. Hi, Ikeria. Welcome back. How are you doing today? Anisha, waiting for you, dear. Your name is Star 41. Guys, double tap on your screens. Done. Thank you. Let's write your beautiful name, dear. Ikeria. Here is yours. Okay, let's see who is next. Good, just trying to revise for my physics exam tomorrow. Not going too well. How about you? I am good, dear. Best of luck for your exam. Hi, dear Owen. Here is yours. Have a good day. Don't stress out. Hi, dear Hamza. Here is yours. How are you? Hi, dear Burhan. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Hello, dear Tina. Here is yours. How are you? Hello, dear. Let's see who is next. Ben. Hi, Ben. Here is your good name. I am good. How about you, dear? Shivani. Hi, Shivani. Welcome. Here is yours. Hi, dear Kajal. Here is your good name. Sky Anisha is your name, and what was the first one? Huria, I don't remember, but yeah, that was your name too. How many names do you have? And you are still saying you're not writing my name? Hi, dear Zaki. Here is yours. How are you? Hello, dear Ulok. Here is yours. How are you? Hi, dear Benny. Here is your beautiful name. Yeah, yellow, yellow. Hi, dear Gustav. Here is yours. विशु जी से पूछे मैं आई थी दिन में भी और सुबह में भी सलाम दुआ करके गई थी हाँ हाँ जी आए थे शिवगा जी आई थी एडल Hi dear Adele, here is yours. How are you? Hi dear Adema, here is your beautiful name. How are you? How are you? It's Tanishka. I am good, dear Tanishka. How about you? Here is your good name. Oh, you're most welcome. Don't forget to double tap on your screens, and there is a subscribe button waiting for your finger press. Hi, can you write sailor? Why not? Sailor. Here is yours. How are you? Hey, thank you so much, Booking. Hi, dear Manahil. Here is yours. How are you? Hello, dear Nadine. Here is a good name. Welcome back. How are you? Hi, dear Isha. Here is yours. Hi, Khurram. Okay. Here is yours. Yomi, why not, dear? Just give me one. Give him 1 minute. He is taking screenshot of his name. आदत ही पड़ गई है हर बोलने की. अरे thank you so much for subscribing. मैंने आपको सब्सक्राइब कर रखा है, थैंक यू। जब अभी तक टिकी हुई ना, अभी इधर ही हूँ। वैसे एक बात भी बताऊंगी देख ले मासी जी, आज मासी जी खुश खुश लग रही हैं, कुछ तो वजह है इस पे, वरना मैं बता ही रही हूँ, वो अलग बात है। हाय निम्रा, हेयर इज योर्स। मुझे भाई जरा सुबह वाली बात कंटिन्यू करें, क्या हुआ था? हाय डियर याह्या, हेयर इज योर्स। हेलो डियर डॉली, here is a good name. Hi dear Anna, here is yours. Hello dear Asna, here is a good name. How are you? Hi dear Saliha, here is yours. Welcome. Hi, welcome back. Yeah, thank you so much for your beautiful presence, dear Yomi. Oh, I forgot to write yours. Here is yours. How are you? Thank you for reading my message. You're most welcome. Hi, Abresh. लिखती हूँ, एक मिनट ठहर जाओ. Abresh, here is yours. How are you? मेरा Instagram account साथ नहीं है चैनल के. Hi Yuvan, welcome. How are you? Hi dear Yuvan. It is a beautiful name. ओके मानसी जी, कोई बात नहीं, हम अच्छा चलें, अब नेक्स्ट पे आते हैं. राइजा, हाय राइजा, वेलकम. हाउ आर यू? हाय डियर गोजो, एनिमी फैन. Here is yours. Hello dear Rija. Here is a good name. Thank you so much dear. You're most welcome. Guys, don't forget to double tap on your screens like this. Let me check. What are you saying? Says क्या यही पे? हाँ. Yes brother. इस इधर ही बता दें आप मुझे. और किधर बताओगे? उमीदा. Hi उमीदा. Welcome. Here is yours. How are you? Hi dear. Here is yours. वैसे क्या बात है, मुझे भी बताइए. Hi ईशान. Welcome. मौसम इकबाल. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Hello dear Ishita. Here is yours. How are you? Hi girl. Hi. How are you dear girlie? Hello dear Remy. Here is yours. Hi dear Shubman. Shubman Gill. Here is yours. Is this? Hi, this is Setu. Welcome. How are you dear Setu? Welcome back. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Guys, don't forget to double tap on your screens. Okay, Avrish. Avrish wants a screenshot. So let's write Avrish. Here is yours, dear Avrish, and it is done at 49. डिस्क्रिप्शन में ना चैनल के उस पे पेज पे मिल जाता है सीधा. अलीजा, हाय, उसके साथ लिंक है डियर. हाउ आर यू? वेलकम. हाँ मेरा बाजू. Okay, let's move to the next name. Hi, dear Alia. Here is a good name. Hi, dear. Hey, ladies. Hi, Georgia. Here is yours. How are you? Hello, dear Atya. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Hi, dear Humble. Here is yours. Welcome. Hello, dear Alien with double N. अजम भाई आपने बताया नहीं है. Hi dear Brooks. Here is yours. How are you? Hey, how are you बोलना क्या कह रही हूँ ये. Hello, dear Noreen. Here is yours. How are you? Hi, dear Gurbaj. Here is your beautiful name. I am good, dear Karen. Hi, Karen. Welcome. How about you? Thank you so much for asking. Here is your beautiful names. Hi, dear Ayan. Here is yours. How are you? Hello, dear Victoria. Here is a good name. How are you? Hey, dear Ayla. Here is yours. Hi, dear Honey. Here is your beautiful name. Double A and I. अब मैं खुश नहीं भी हूँ लेकिन कुछ गुड कंडीशन से बेहतर हूँ. नहीं नहीं आज आप लग रहे हो. I am good, dear Rija. How about you? Ace. Hi, Ace. Welcome. Rija. Hi. Here is yours. Blue. Nice. Blue, blue, blue. Bavar or Barvar? Barvar. Oh, here is yours. Nitya. Hi, Nitya. Welcome. How are you? Here is a good name. Let's see who is next. You're most welcome, dear. Shiza. Hi, Shiza. Here is a beautiful name. Welcome. Hello, dear Baron. Here is yours. Acha. Give me 1 minute. अच्छा फिर क्या हुआ था फिर उसके बाद भाई हेलो डियर arigato here is yours red and blue nice choice here is a good name how are you hi Taha hello dear Taha here is yours hi dear Michael here is a beautiful name hi dear Anise here is yours hi dear Tejal here is a beautiful name hi Mariam here is yours why dear have a good day yay thank you you're most welcome क्योंकि जब मैं डाउन डाउन होती तो आपको पता चलता हाँ ना आप बात ही नहीं करते तब फटाफट चले जाते हो hi dear Izay here is yours hello dear Sonam here is your beautiful name how are you hi dear Jivika here is yours how are you hello dear Nikita here is yours okay let's see who's gonna be the 80s liker guys don't stop double tapping फिर कैसे फिर मैंने कुछ नहीं कहा है कहा कि we will see ओह अच्छा ये बात थी क्या बस फिर उसके बाद उसने क्या बोला हेलो दर्शु वेलकम बैक लेट्स राइट दर्शु Hi dear Darshu, thank you. You're most welcome. Black and blue. Oh, black is love. जी जी आ गई समझ हाँ है ना Jessica. Hi Jessica, welcome. How are you? Here is a good name. You're most welcome, dear. Thank you. Hi, dear Nitya. Here is yours. I am good. How about you? फिर कुछ नहीं कहा था दोनों ने. Hi, dear Faye. Here is yours. Okay, but for the very last time, dear. Kathlinda. Here is yours. Hi, Isham. Welcome. Hello, Harshita. Here is a good. I'm gonna write after this. Your name, Harshita. Kirat. Hi, Kirat. Hello, dear Kirat. How are you? Hi, dear. Oh, what was your name? Samriddhi? No, I forgot. अभी एक सेकंड नहीं हुआ. हर्षिता. एक सेकंड नहीं हुआ और मैं भूल भी गई हूँ क्या पढ़ा मैंने. हर्षिता. Here is yours. Thank you so much. You're most welcome, dear. My favorite colors are green and yellow. Oh, nice. मासी जी अच्छा अच्छा. हाँ मैंने आपको कहा था ना मासी जी के किसी को ठीक करवाना है, वो उन्हीं की बात कर रही थी मैं. Amy. Hi, dear Amy. Here is yours. Hello, dear Zaina. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? This is अगर कुछ तो खामख्वा में बात आ गया. हाँ सही है, अच्छी बात है. इसको किसने लिखा है ये? हाय, आपको कैसे पता है? Hi, dear Isham. Here is your thank you subscribe. Thank you so much, dear. Don't forget to double tap on your screens. मासी जी ने क्या बोला है? सुबह जी अगर आपने कुछ बोला है क्या? मेरे से शायद मिस हो गया. Amy. Hi, dear Amy. Here is yours. Ogon. Hi, Ogon. Here is yours. Hello, dear. हाँ बताए फिर जल्दी जल्दी मैं सीधा करती हूँ. नहीं वो मौसम भाई ने कर दिया था. मरियम. Hi, Mariam. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? सिर्फ मुझे आपसे पूरी परमिशन नहीं है इसलिए. अच्छा अच्छा ठीक है. अच्छी बात है, अच्छी बात है. वहाँ पे ही आराम से बात ही हो जाए तो ज़्यादा बेटर है. Hi, Izzy. Welcome. Here is yours. Let's see who is next. What is your name? Here is yours. How are you? Guys, double tap on your screen. Oh God, have to complete. Guys, double tap on your screens like this. ले वो उधर ही रुक गया देखो. अच्छा अच्छा अच्छा. हाँ जी हाँ जी. Megan. Hi, Megan. Welcome. How are you? Here is yours. Jasmine. Hi, Jasmine. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Osado. Hi. Here is yours. Hi, dear. Mahidar. Here is your good name. How are you? Gina Suswana Atehi. Hi, good. Hi, Dala. Welcome back. How are you doing, dear? Here is your beautiful name. Yusuf. Thank you, Yusuf. Let's write your name. Here is yours. Thank you for subscribing. Hi, dear Sashi. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Hello, dear Megan. Here is yours. Welcome. Hi, dear Joel. Joel है Joel है क्या है Joel? Here is yours. Hi, Junaid. Junaid, welcome. Ali Jat, hi. Here is yours. जी मैं घर से क्या बस कर दो, इतना मत बोलो, वो फिर सैड ही ना हो जाए कहीं। हाय माँ, मैं कंफ्यूज इस बात में, फिर उसको उसके सच में मत किया करो भाई इतना। हाय डियर माँ, हम ये तो बैड मैनर्स हो गए मुझसे भाई, ऐसे मत करना आप। माय फेवरेट कलर इज येलो। ओके, so good to have you here. Joanne, hi Joanne, welcome. How are you? Here is yours. Miyad. Hi Miyad. Here is yours. वॉइस डिफरेंट क्यों लग रही है? पता नहीं, रोज ही मेरी वॉइस चेंज हो जाती है क्या? मुझे कोई इमोशनल ब्लैकमेल करता है ना बच्चा, इसलिए खुश हूँ आज। कौन करते हैं? यही करते हैं शायद। हाय जिमल, वेलकम। हियर इज योर्स। हाय, वेलकम आशा। हेलो डियर आशा, हियर इज अ गुड नेम। शायद मेरा गला बैठा, मैंने कल गोलगप्पे खा लिए थे। मेरे पास रोज कोई रीजन होता है गला बैठने की, नई नई रीजंस। हाय नजान, वेलकम। Here is yours. Guys, don't forget to double tap on your screens. नहीं नहीं, ऐसा नहीं करूँगे सिर्फ हम भी बस आपके होने पर चले गए एक मैनेजर की तरह। नहीं नहीं, मैंने आपको थोड़ी कहा था ऐसे करना, आपने खुद से किया है ना। बस ठीक है, अब मत करना दोबारा। डिनर हुआ? नहीं नहीं, अभी नहीं कहा, अभी कहाँ भाई। Aiden, hi Aiden. Here is yours. Welcome. Molly, hi Molly. Here is a good name. आयशा, हाय आयशा, आपने कर लिया डिनर? दर्शु, here is a beautiful name. Hello dear, is that nice? Nala, here is yours. How are you? अली जट, मैंने आपका लिख दिया था ना? Say to me, hi. Here is yours. How are you? मैंने कर लिया। अरे वाह, क्या खाया है डिनर में आपने? इतने दिनों से ना मेरा फ्रेंच फ्राइज खाने का दिल कर रहा है, बट टाइम नहीं मिल रहा बनाने का, और कोई और बना के दे नहीं रहा। कितना गोलगप्पा खाया आपने? 4-5 तो मुझे लगता है खा ही लिए थे। Maham, hi Maham, welcome. How are you? Hello dear Shan. It is a good name. मुझे क्या पता मसी जी, क्या लिखा है? ओह अच्छा अच्छा, जब तक हैवी डिनर नहीं किया, बस 3 अरे वाह वाह, क्या बात है। Branko, hi Branko. Here is yours. How are you? आप खुद बनाए? नहीं नहीं, मुझे बनाने नहीं आते गोलगप्पे। एक दफ़ा नहीं, 2 दफ़ा मैंने ट्राई किए थे, बट वो फूलते ही नहीं है भाई। वो उसको फ्राई करो तो वो फूलते ही नहीं है। गाइस, डबल टैप ऑन स्क्रीन। सिर्फ पढ़ा नहीं, रिप्लाई नहीं, मैंने नहीं पढ़ा। क्या लिखा था दोबारा बता दो भाई। मोचे, हाय, हियर इज योर्स। बिबिन, हे बिबिन, हाउ आर यू? Here is yours. Hello dear Neha. It is a good name. Azura, hi Azura, welcome. कौन सी आइटम आप अच्छे बनाते हैं? मैं पास्ता बहुत अच्छा बनाती हूँ, जो मुझे पसंद भी है खुद, फेवरेट है मेरा फेवरेट। मुस्लिमा, हाय मुस्लिमा, वेलकम। हाउ आर यू? कोई भी खाना मैं बहुत शौक से बनाऊँ वो अच्छा बनता है, फिर मुझे यकीन नहीं आता, फिर मेरे दिमाग में क्यों ना एक रेस्टोरेंट खोला जाए। जी मुझे आते हैं गोलगप्पे बनाने, बाजार वालों से भी बेस्ट, साफ सुथरे। मैंने 2-3 दफ़ा ट्राई किया है लेकिन वो फूलते नहीं हैं, और अगर फूलते हैं तो वो फिर कड़क हो जाते हैं बहुत, आई मीन बहुत हार्ड हो जाते हैं। ना भैया, बट खटाई उसकी मैंने बड़ी मज़े की बनाई थी। Here is a good name. Guys, double tap on your screens. Who is Toto? मैं हानिया, मैं आपकी वीडियो बहुत लाइक करती हूँ, आपकी वीडियो मुझे इतनी अच्छी लगती है, इससे कोई भी नहीं लगती मुझे अच्छी वीडियो। हाय, इतना अच्छा कमेंट मैंने पहले कभी भी नहीं पढ़ा। क्या नाम है आपका? हानिया। Here is your beautiful name, dear. Thank you so much for your love and support. Sis, क्या रबड़ के खाने हैं क्या? वो क्या होता है? खोल दो रेस्टोरेंट। Hey, do you remember me? Hi people. Yeah, I do, man. दादाजी रिलैक्स हो जाओ, आप नहीं करते, आप अच्छे बच्चे हो। मैं तो नहीं हूँ ना इस कैटेगरी में। Hi Angel, welcome. How are you? Here is yours. Hi dear Stella. Here is a good name. How are you? Who I am? Bipul. Hi dear Ryan. Here is a good name. Wait. Your name is Bipul, right? Hi dear Ines. Here is yours. How are you? मुझे सही सही बताएं तो आपने ऐसा क्यों कहा सिर्फ? बस अब इनके अंदर का डिटेक्टिव जाग गया, अब इन्होंने पता करके ही सुकून से बैठना। Arlene. Hi dear Arlene. Here is your beautiful name. Arlene नाम भी कितना प्यारा है। शयान. Hi. इशू जी, मैं अगर आप कोई कप लेते हैं तो सूजी हाफ कप ले, इस तरह क्रिस्पी बनते हैं, और ऑयल भी डाले, 2 टेबलस्पून नमक और चीनी हल्की सी है। अच्छा, स्वीट और स्पाइसी कौन से डू यू लाइक मोर? हाय हाय, स्वीट एंड स्पाइसी बोथ। ना मुझसे ज़्यादा मीठा खाया जाता है और ना ही मुझसे ज़्यादा स्पाइसी खाया जाता है, मेरी स्पाइस टॉलरेंस बहुत कम है, तो मैं नॉर्मल खाती हूँ हर चीज़। डू यू गाइस सपोर्ट रोनाल्डो? या वी डू, रोनाल्डो इज गुड। Hi dear Sahil, here is a good name. How are you? आपकी आपस की बात है। सानवी. Hi सानवी, welcome. How are you? बस मोहसिन भाई ने जान के रहनी है, अब देखने। सानू. Hi सानू. Here is a beautiful name. Hi dear. मीनब है या मीरब है? Could you please confirm dear, मीरब or मीनब? Meerab, we have 2 Meerab in the chat. Hi, it is yours. Double tap on your screens like this. Double tap on your screens like this. And there is a subscribe button, guys, waiting for your finger press. लेकिन खाती चीजें, हाय हाय मिस हो गया 1 मिनट। लेकिन खट्टी चीजें दबा के खानी होती है ना यूजुअली। खट्टी चीज़ों में जो पापड़ होते हैं ना, वो खिला लो जितने, क्योंकि मेरी मम्मा मुझे खाने नहीं देती ज़्यादा। पता है, मैंने कल और आज फिर खाए हैं, शायद इसलिए मेरी वॉइस चेंज लग रही है थोड़ी थोड़ी। शायद। हाय दुआ. नाज़िम. हाय नाज़िम. हाउ आर यू? वेलकम. गाइस, डोंट फॉरगेट टू लाइक एंड सब्सक्राइब. हैव टू कंप्लीट. सॉरी, मैं तो भूल ही गया था लाइक करना। देखा ना, इतना मत खोया करो बातों में कि भूल जाते हो। लाइक किया करो आके सबसे पहले, अच्छा, अच्छे बच्चों की तरह। फातिमा एंड अरहम. हाय, हियर इज योर्स. मोहसिन भाई, आपने नहीं किया है ना लाइक, है ना? मुझे लग रहा है आपने भी नहीं किया। इशू जी, पापड़ भी ब्रांडेड नहीं, 5-10 वाले, हाँ ना? 5-10 वाले ही, वो एक बड़े मजे मजे के आते हैं। लाइक डन. देखा, नहीं किया था इन्होंने, मुझे यकीन था आपके ऊपर, विश्वास था मुझे पक्का। सिर्फ आप भी पूछ रहे रिप्लाई भी नहीं कर रही हैं, छोड़ दो ना, वो नहीं बताना चाहती हैं, पर्सनल बात होगी ना, कोई बात नहीं। हाँ, आपने कौन सा सब कुछ बता रखा है उनको, वो नहीं बता रही हैं, कोई बात नहीं है। Here is yours. Hi dear Yaman. Here is a beautiful name. How are you? कह दिया है, अब चॉकलेट खिला दो। चॉकलेट वाला केक खाया है मैंने, आज नहीं खाया, कल खाया था। सिर्फ मेरा कहाँ है? क्या? क्या मेरा कहाँ है? पिंटू, हाय। Here is yours. How are you? हेलो डियर, मैंने क्या छुपाया, मुझे क्या पता अब। अब ये थोड़ी मुझे पता है आपने क्या छुपाया, आपने बताया ही कुछ नहीं है। Hi dear Loons, here is yours. Hi dear, क्या नाम है, गाओई, गाओई maybe, I don't know how to pronounce this, but yeah, here is a good name. मैं भी खाती हूँ इमली पापड़ नीम को चूरन, नहीं चूरन नहीं खाया मैंने, बड़ी देर हुई है, अब मेरे फेस पर भी पापड़ निकले हुए हैं। मैंने बस 2 दिन हो गए, बड़ी देर बाद खाए हैं, बट चूरन नहीं खाया मैंने, बड़ी देर हो गई, याद करवाया आपने मुझे, लेकिन मैं इसलिए नहीं खाती ना, फिर मेरा गला बैठ जाता है। दादाजी इस बात को छोड़ेंगे या नहीं? दादाजी को एक मुक्का खिलाओ फिर छोड़ेंगे। मासी जी, मेरा कहा है सिर्फ कि मैं ऐसा करता हूँ। Your voice and smile both are so precious. Oh, just like your name. Thank you. Hi, dear Abhinaya. Abhinaya. It is a good name. How are you? Here is yours. Thank you so much. अब आ गया ना, पूरा फ्रेम में है ना, आ गया। Hi dear Larkin, here is yours. How are you? बांग्लादेश में गोलगप्पे को क्या बोलते हैं? पुचका बोलते हैं। Hi dear Sanvi, here is yours. How are you? भोपाल में भी पुचका बोलते हैं ना शायद, है ना? नंदिनी, hi नंदिनी, welcome. How are you? Sorry आजकल, hi हुराम, welcome. एक मिनट मुझे जरा कमेंट कर लेने दें। सॉरी आजकल मैं बिजी होती हूँ इसलिए लाइव पे ज्वाइन नहीं कर पाती, कोई बात नहीं है डियर, इट्स ओके, एंजॉय योरसेल्फ। शानवी, हाय शानवी, वेलकम। हियर इज योर्स, हाउ आर यू? अब ये अच्छा उनको बोल रहे हो, फिर ठीक है। हाय डियर हार्दिक, हियर इज योर्स, हाउ आर यू? हेलो डियर काका, हियर इज योर्स, JSK. Oh, you're most welcome, dear. Thank you. Megla, hi Megla, welcome. How are you? सर आप भी ऐसा मक्खन लगाते हैं, कम नहीं है, मैंने कब लगाया मक्खन? आमना, hi आमना. Here is yours. How are you? Hi dear, we have Aisha. Hi Aisha. Here is a beautiful name. How are you? Hi dear Harsh. Here is yours. Hello Didi. I hope you are very happy. Hi. Thank you so much for joining. What's a good name, dear? Now you came and I'm super happy because you are here. What's a good name? Hi Annie. Welcome. Hi dear Annie. Here is a good name. थोड़ी busy हूँ, कल इंशाल्लाह join करूँगी वापस. Bye bye. Oh, do you remember me? नहीं आजकल यूट्यूब पे आपका लाइव देखना बहुत मज़ा आती है। अरे अरे, थैंक यू सो मच। Thank you so much guys, lots of love. Hi dear Noel, it is a good name. Guys have to complete 102 more. Don't forget to double tap on your screens. Akshat, hi. Welcome. अक्षय, हाँ मुझे पता है, मैंने देखा था अभी। मकबैंग, वही वाले जहाँ हम जाते हैं। Hey Maka, welcome. How are you? Do you remember me? I used to see your every live. Ah, lots of love. Thank you for your beautiful presence, dear. Hi Sanvi. Here is yours. Hi dear Sony. Here is a good name. Now I'm not gonna forget your name, dear. Leo. Hi dear Leo. Here is yours. Hi, name of you Asad. Harun. Hi Harun. Fahim. Hi Fahim. Here is a beautiful name. Akash. Hi Akash. Welcome. पानी पी लूँ अच्छा। अब मैं सच में जा रही हूँ, बाय। हैं क्या हुआ है सुर्गा जी? अगर इन्होंने कुछ कहा है मुझे अभी बताओ, इनको अभी मैं बताती हूँ। मुझे भाई तंग किया आपने। आपका फेवरेट चाइल्डहुड चॉकलेट कौन सा था? डेयरी मिल्क। अब तक वही है। Misha, hi Misha, welcome. How are you? Guys, don't forget to double tap on the screen. इतने सारे नूडल्स भाई, इतने सारे नूडल्स। सिर्फ मैंने क्या कहा है आपको सामने तो हूँ। नहीं, मेरे से हो सकता है ना, मिस भी हो सकता है। मुझे नहीं कहा, उनको तंग करे हो आप। Hi Yanis, here is yours. Afsana, hi Afsana, welcome. Thank you so much, dear. Here is a beautiful name. Hi, dear Malak. Here is yours. Hey, dear David. Here is a good name. किसी को बता देना नहीं आ रही आपका से मिलने में इंतजार कमजोर ना करो। सच में सिद्धा जी ना करो, ना करो। हाय जन्नत, वेलकम। ऐसा क्या हुआ है जरा मुझे बताएं। Hi dear Jude, here is a good name. How are you? Chips, French fries, always. Hi Gogo, welcome. Let's see who is next. Harman, hi Harman. Here is yours. How are you? क्या क्या हुआ dear moderator? Liliana, hi Liliana, welcome. Here is yours. Zainab, hi Zainab, welcome. Yeah, people, but please don't spam. I have read your comment. Oh, कुछ नहीं होता। क्या दूंगी मैं उनको। सनी आप इधर ढूंढ रहे हैं, यहाँ पे नहीं है, घर पे होंगे। उधर जाके ढूंढो भाई। Ines, hi Ines, welcome. How are you? कुछ नहीं हुआ, मजाक कर रही हूँ। जैसे ये कह रहे थे पहले, मेरा भी तो हक बनता ना, फिर मैं भी बोलूँ। सिर्फ जी कुछ भी हो जाए, लाइफ को छोड़ के नहीं जाएंगी, इतना तो मुझे यकीन है सिद्धा जी पे। हाय जैक्सन, वेलकम। रिमेंबर माय नेम विपुल। हाय डियर आन्या, हियर इज योर्स। रेबा, वेलकम बैक रेबा, हाउ आर यू? हियर इज अ गुड नेम। समीर, हाय समीर, हाउ आर यू? शानवी, ओके शानवी, ओके शानवी। हाय आइजा, वेलकम। Here is a beautiful name. Oh, not gonna reveal. Jabril, hi, welcome. How are you? Blue. Nice. Guys, don't forget to double tap on your screen. हाँ हाँ मासी जी हो गया हो गया. Iman, hi, welcome. I'm good. Oh, good to know, no, dear. Good to know. Have a good day. Guys, now it's time to end the stream and let's see whose name gonna be the last one. Sama. Hi, Sama. Welcome. How are you? Abiha. Hi, Abiha. Here is yours. Gazar. Hi, Gazar. How are you? Vakar. Hi, Vakar. Here is yours. Guys, don't forget to double tap on your screens like this, and there, right there is a subscribe button actually. Subscribe button waiting for your finger to press. And now I'm going to write our last name for this stream, which is. I'm fine, thank you, and you? I'm good too, dear. Thank you for asking. Narveen, okay, Narveen. Narveen is last for the stream. Iman is done now. Pink, thank you so much. You're most welcome, guys. Lots of love. I'm going to end the stream. Bye bye. Take care. Good night. Harsha. आसिफ भाई की बात याद आ गई है मुझे. Thank you, dear Shanvi. Thank you. You are the bestest. Okay, guys. Thank you so much for your precious time. Now it's time to end and take care. Bye bye. Bye. Sweet dreams. Good night. Bye bye.